Alex, a week, is it to reflect on the weekend or just to take the positives and move on?
No, you reflect obviously straight away after the game, and obviously we were disappointed, in losing the game. But I thought that for large spells, we had to weather the storm at times. But the big positive was the last 20 minutes where after they scored, I thought it was, they didn't really enter our half. We really put it onto them. We just lacked that final ball, or that killer instinct. But keepers made a fantastic save from Dan Kent, which would level the game. So absolutely we're disappointed because we want to keep the run going and we want to pick up points as often as we can. But it's great to have a free week to work at things and get players some rest and recover and make sure, like we've always said, that good teams bounce back, and that's been the major focus this week.
Such a positive start as well. You can't get away from the fact 4 wins and just the 1 defeat.
Yeah, of course. I think that when we looked at that first block of 5 games, you set yourself a target, obviously, and we probably got to that target at Port Vale, around Port Vale, maybe just before that, in terms of that start. Definitely home games. We've said all along that we want to make our home games and have a better home record than last year. So we've achieved that, in the 2 that we've had. And ultimately going to Huddersfield probably after the Port Vale and the emotion of Port Vale and the travel and things was always going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game for whoever goes up there. But I think that in when we look back at that game, I thought that on the ball we didn't show ourselves and show our what we've done in recent weeks, and I think that was really the only disappointment from that. So we are absolutely full of confidence. Players have had a brilliant start, and again I'll reiterate it, what we've got to drum into these players is that if you do lose, and you will in seasons, it's what you do next, and it's the reaction to that. As long as we learn and we look at how we can do better, and then we deliver that the next game, then it's been a successful week, and we can get back to winning ways. And we know we're going to have to be at our very best tomorrow for sure. That's everything. That's work. That's energy, intensity, on the ball. Wanting the ball, demanding the ball, all those things we've got to be at our best to get a positive result tomorrow, and then continue, in that positive fashion.
Good to be back home after 2 lengthy away trips onto big grounds as well, isn't it? It's nice to have somebody back on your terms, if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a grueling schedule for. Not just for us, but the fans that travelled. It was 2 long away trips, 2 very big pitches that you get space on, and when you go to those types of places, you have to adapt because they're familiar to their surroundings, and it does make a difference. So I think at Port Vale we did that without being at our best, but what we did show is that character that we've got here to make sure that. Never give in and stay in games when it might not be going for you. But now we're back at home in front of our fans that have been great at home. They've really been with us, and the performance and the results have probably hopefully warranted that, because we've won both and clean sheets. And I thought, and I'll always go back, I thought Rotherham first half was such a top performance that's the standards and levels that we've set. So we want to see that again, obviously. Each game's different, each game's tough, each game's, you have to prepare differently in terms of what you're facing. But we've worked really hard this week, and so have the players, to make sure that we've learned and that we're ready now to be back at home on our pitch. To like I say, to make sure that we keep the run at home going.
And Wycombe, a club that are trying to find their feet this season, but slowly they're starting to get there.
Yeah, we went and watched them on Tuesday, and you look at the results and the performances. The performances probably haven't matched their results, if I'm honest. I think that they're a team that the manager wants them to play a certain way, and when they get it right, they're really tough team to play against. So we've got to make sure that without the ball we're really organised and solid. But they had a fantastic year last year, and I'm sure that they'll want to replicate that and go one more this year. So I'm sure they'll be there or thereabouts come the end of the season. But our job is to make sure that we focus on what we're about with our levels and our standards, and make sure that we get a positive result. And in order to do that, like I said, we've got to be at our very best tomorrow to get any kind of result. And the players know that, and we're keen to deliver that.
A couple of ex-chairboys in your squad as well, Jasper Pattenden and Berily Labala. Are you able to draw on them on any insights to Wycombe?
I think it's changed a little bit, since obviously from last year, and Bez obviously watched from, maybe from the side for a little while with the new manager coming in. But I think we know them, we've played against them many, many times now. And I think that absolutely you can look at individuals and speak to them about individuals, obviously, and strengths and weaknesses. But I think that they're desperate to have an impact and be involved and play, obviously, as you always are, against your former clubs. But I think that the staff work extremely hard behind the scenes to make sure that every game we give the players everything we can do to go out and perform. And this game's no different. We know them, we know their players, we know the strength and weaknesses, and we've just got to make sure that when we go out there, we try and deliver what we've done all week. And if we do that, and Jasper and Bez have a small input in that, then fantastic. And hopefully we can, like I say, keep this home run going against them.
How's the squad looking? I mean, there was one or two weary-looking players that come the end of the game on Saturday. Has everybody pulled through?
Yeah, we're nice and strong and getting players back, which is great. I think that you look at games in terms of Tuesday, Saturday with the squad that we've got, and you're always thinking energy. Is there changes that need to be made? And I think that we always look at ourselves as staff as well. We do, because we want to make sure that we win games. And looking back, maybe whether that was right to play the players again, but we've just won 4 on the bounce. So you're a bit damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So hindsight's a wonderful thing, but one thing that this group never ever will never shy away from is the energy and the work that they put in. Even they were weary a little bit, but that because of the effort that they've put into the game and to try and get something from it. So that's what we demand. That's what they demand from each other. But the squad's looking really strong. Good to get those players that have been on the fringes now back up and running and challenging, which is great. So gives myself a headache in terms of now that we're looking stronger, but the competition and the training is matching that as well. So players know they've got competitions that they have to perform, and I've got to say that for the last few days now, the training's been at a really top level, and we've now just got to make sure that we show that on the pitch.
Time's coming to the point where we don't sound like a worn record anymore. Few days left of the transfer window. Is there likely to be any movements in and out?
Well, we're always looking. I think there's certain areas that we would like to maybe strengthen in still, because I think we always want to try and improve. But on the flip side of that, we know that we've got a really strong group. So I think when we've got the group that we have, it relieves that pressure of having to do something of you don't want to make a mistake in this window because it's a long season. It's still a long time till January, so you don't want to make mistakes. So that's really important, and I don't believe we have done this whole summer. I feel we've been really positive with the signings we've made and the players that we've brought into this football club. So if the right type comes along that we feel can make us better, then we will absolutely look at it. And players, that are here at the moment, we've got a really strong group, so we have to make sure that we protect that, but always look to see if we can improve it.